We're starting. What's up? It's SHU Sports Network here again. This week we couldn't get a podcast or Undisputed Week episode in because we were busy all weekend. We had a lot of things to attend to, but we got something special for you guys. This is one of the two basketball athletes from the previous season that just happened to get an All-PSAC award. This video is brought to you by Top Trainer Supplements. Top Trainer Supplements supplies all athletes with supplements for recovery and training worldwide. Congratulations. Can you tell people who you are?
Thank you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Samuel Tabe. I'm a senior guard, and I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland.
To start off with this interview, we'd just like to get to know more about you. Where are you from ethnically, location-wise, and basically your family background?
Like I said before, I am from Prince George's County, but I was originally born in Africa, Cameroon to be specific. That's West Africa. I lived there since I was about age 9, and then I moved to Prince George's County. Obviously, I moved around Maryland a lot, but I just claim Prince George's County because that's the part of Maryland I've lived in the most.
That's pretty interesting. How long have you been playing basketball?
That's a really good question. Might be surprising to a lot of people, but I started playing basketball around I would say the seventh grade. Yeah, about the 7th grade. Yeah.
13, 12.
Yeah. I started my first basketball game actually that I ever watched because previously I used to play soccer. Like it's I know it's a stereotype that all Africans love soccer, but it's honestly true. Like basketball wasn't huge in Africa, in Cameroon to be specific, but it wasn't huge. Like soccer was more popular than basketball. So I started watching basketball. I think my first basketball game was like whenever LeBron and D Wade and Basha and those guys were playing against the Mavs, Dirk and those guys. Yeah, that was my first experience in basketball.
I think that's around the same year I actually started liking football too. So yeah. As an athlete, I can relate to you. There's definitely days where you don't feel like being on the court. You don't feel like, just being there. What motivates you every day to keep pushing and keep striving and always trying to get better?
Another great question. I don't know. That's a pretty what motivates me? I would say, for one, I just love what I do, and to me, it's not like a job. It's like it's basically me waking up and doing what I love every day, and my motivation is improvement every day, like 1%. I know that's very cliche, but honestly, that's really my motivation. I just wake up every day, how can I get better today, even if it's the tiny thing? How can I add a little bit more knowledge to my basketball knowledge already? So honestly, I would say just trying to improve every day, and my family's also a big motivation for me because I do want to be great for my family. I do want to do great things for my family and be able to take care of my family and not have my mom work anymore and just retire. So that's one of my biggest motivation, I would say, for sure.
Is there anybody in your family that is also an athlete or was an athlete maybe?
Oh no, all my brothers are athletes. All my brothers play soccer. So I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and both my brothers, like I said, both are as tall as me. I'm about 6'4", 6'5". They're about 6'4", 6'5", but they play soccer, and I just play basketball. It just so happen we play different sports. But I wouldn't say we're a sports family, but watching my brothers play sports really motivated me to get into sports too as well. Yeah.
Do you think, probably the biggest factors for your improvement from last season personally, and then what was the biggest factor for improvement for the team?
For the team, I'll start with the team because those guys are more important than me personally. So for the team, it was just as you guys probably know, we've had a couple of rough seasons as a team. And with the coaching change that we had, it wasn't a huge change in the team. Everybody basically came back as the same guys that our previous coach brought in. So it was just a thing of a culture change that we needed. I feel like we needed, And those guys, like I love those guys. Like, they're just all competitive and they just all have the same mindset as me. And like, I know it's again cliche, but you just have to keep people around you that have the same type of mindset as you know. And those guys work every day. They're always in the gym. They always want to get better. They're hungry for knowledge, and they're just a great group of guys that just love each other. And honestly, the basketball team, I would say, is like, they're all like my brothers, like from freshmen to seniors. Like, they're all like my brothers. So like, we just have that same type of bond. Like, we want to play for each other and we want to do good for each other, like not for us personally. So I would say that was one of the biggest changes for the basketball team as a whole. It was the culture, for sure. Me personally, I wouldn't say I changed a lot. I've just been stacking good days. Like, that's the thing about me. Like, I always just stack good days. Like, to me, like, my biggest motto is like, it's either you lose a day or you gain a day, or like you win a day or you lose a day. So my thing is, if I stack enough good days, I'm winning a great stretch of my life. Eventually it's gonna pay out, and all the work is gonna show eventually. So, and it has by me obviously winning awards. But I give all of the praises to my teammates because they always just push me to be better every day.
As we get older, we're always gonna have, I think, everyone at least has one role model. Most likely you'll have multiple role models. Who do you think is like the top one role model in your life that really inspires you today?
That's a good question. I have to think about that one. That's a good question. Wow. I gotta think deep for that one. I would say my mom. My mom is my biggest role model, I think, because seeing her just work every day and just getting after it, honestly, like having 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and still being able to come home and provide for her kids and take care of her kids and still have the time and take the time out to still have fun with me and just go to the park and just do all her mother duties. She's just the biggest role model for me. Like I love my mom, and like the work she instilled in me, and like you always have to work for everything you want. Like you can't just wish it, you can't just manifest it. And I understand manifestation is like a big part of society right now, but I feel like people are getting away from like the work aspect of it. Like, yeah, you can wish it and you can say you want it, but like my mom taught me, like if you want something, you have to go get it. Like nobody's gonna hand you anything in this world. So I feel like my mom is my biggest role model. Like I love her. Like to this day, like she has no kids in the house, but she still has like 2 jobs, still working hard, still pushing through. Like, yeah, like my mom is my role model for sure. Like she's amazing.
Another question I have for you today. We have 3 more. I personally don't like this question, but the team wanted me to ask you this question. Because I feel like it boxes you in, but what player do you think, or multiple players, do you think you base your game off of?
That's a good question. I gotta think about that one.
You want to think about it and we come back to it?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
That's a good question.
Outside of basketball, what are some of your hobbies?
Oh, that's easy. I'm a photographer. I'm a fashion guy. I love fashion. I just love being creative. And photography. And honestly, if walking around and just looking at sunsets all day was a hobby, I'll be down for that. But because I love doing that. I just love chilling. I just love hanging out with my friends and just having a good time with the people that are closest to me, honestly. It's very simple, yeah.
Next question. What are your goals for your close future, like in the next 3 months, 4 months? What are your goals for next year? How is next year looking? And like, what are some of your long-term goals?
For me personally, so I actually just transferred from Seton Hill to the University of South Alabama, which is a D1 out in Alabama, obviously. But so I'm just locked in on that and trying to prepare myself for the D1 level. And honestly, it's just a dream I've had since I started playing basketball. Like I've always wanted to play on the highest level. So my team allowing me to take this opportunity. Again, I give all praises to my team. Like without them, without those guys, I wouldn't be making or taking this next step that I'm about to take, which has been my dream for as long as I've known. So like, yeah, so that would be like my immediate next steps is transferring. Still working out with my team. We just started workouts a couple of days ago. It's great. Like the energy, I love the energy still. I love those guys. They're amazing. Like I keep talking about them, but those guys are really like my brothers. Like I really do love them. But yeah, and then for the long-term future, everybody knows, like, if you ask me, like, what do I want to do as a professional, I always say I want to be a professional basketball player, like, whatever aspect it is. Like, if that's the NBA, it's the NBA. If it's the G League, if it's the G League, it's the G League. And, like, overseas, Spain, Germany, like, wherever, like, Australia, like, that's perfectly fine with me because I do want to travel the world anyway. So, long-term, that's my long-term goal. And then short-term, I'm about to transfer. So, I'm just trying to prepare myself mentally for that next step.
You got an answer for the player you base your game off of now? You can get like a mix in if you want to.
I would say a mixture of, like, because I am really athletic, but I'm a big guard too. So I would say like a mixture of like a mixture of a lot of people. A mixture of like Russell Westbrook, like a De'Aaron Fox type fast guard, a scoring guard really, and I'm a big guard too. So I would go like De'Aaron Fox mixed with like Westbrook, like a Drew Holiday type guy that's huge, like a big guard that can really handle it, can really get to his spots. So yeah, I would say those guys.
Last question before we get out here today. What's like a message you want to give to the younger generation about life, basketball, just being a man in general, especially to the high school population? That is a lot of where our audience come from. So,
for sure. Yeah, like I wish there were a lot of things that. So there are lessons that I've learned now as an adult. I'm still kind of like a kid, really, but at 22 years old, there are lessons that like I wish my OGs would have told me earlier. So like one lesson for sure that I would like to pass on to the younger generation is like I was speaking about before, like, yeah, like whatever you want, it's possible. This might be cliche, but whatever you want, it is possible. Like, don't ever say anything is impossible because impossible doesn't exist. If you work for it and you work hard enough and you want it hard enough, you will achieve it if you put in the work. And that's just all I wanted to, yeah. But that's the only message I want to pass on to the younger generation. Like, if you want something, you gotta go get it. You gotta go get it. Like, nobody's ever gonna give you anything in life. So like, you just have to work. Like, if you work, eventually opportunity is gonna meet that preparation that you've been preparing for. So if you've been prepared the whole time, then you have nothing to worry about. But it's that work. It's just work. I feel like our generation has been getting away from the work a little bit. Like that you gotta really put your blood, sweat, and tears into what you want for.
Thank you for that. Also, thank you for your time. I know as we all got busy lives. Thank you for giving us your time. Oh snap. I'm gonna cut that out. But thank you again. Thank you, Rosalie, for allowing all of this beautiful content to be even possible. And Sports Network, we're out. Peace.